real life.
So then, the Asia Cup, the coverage continues here on Sports Day. Here to talk about something that we picked on the internet. It in fact came in response to one of the videos that we did here, and of that one innings that we saw between India and Pakistan, there is a certain fan base in Pakistan that tends to believe that perhaps India are afraid of Pakistan. They're already confident about a win. That's something that we'll be talking about in in the next half an hour or so. Over the next half an hour, Nikhil will also be joining us. In fact, he's there. Nikhil joins us from Colombo, where it does look a bit windy at the moment. Nikhil, are you with us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the belief in certain quarters of yes, just the one match. You could say India, coming in with the first time in about a year that you see the full core or the best 11 perhaps play for India. Even then, though the other day you could argue that there wasn't the presence of KL Rahul, that's also something that India are awaiting even as we speak, to be there in the 11, something that could in fact happen on the 10th. But of whatever little that we saw that day, the one innings from India with the bat, a growing sense of belief with certain fan base in Pakistan that thinks that India are afraid. Also, I think this is helped by the fact that there were certain comments that came from Najam Sethi as well,
On Twitter.
Exactly, the ex-PCB chief saying that India are
No, but the way the PCB is being run, when you say ex-PCB chief, you never know. In 15 days time, he might become the PCB
Next
chief
PCB
again. That's the way they play the musical chairs there.
Former to current.
Former to current.
Former to current.
Yeah.
Former to current to former again. How it changes over there, you never know. But let's get Nikhil here. Nikhil, again, something that's already started to trend and something people have started to weigh on. Growing consensus, one would say, at the moment, with whatever we saw from the Indian batters the other day. Section of the fans in Pakistan already convinced that India is afraid and they're already confident of a win. Yes, of course, many boxes this Pakistan side is ticking, but reason enough for them to perhaps jump the gun and feel that India is afraid or they're confident of a win.
I can't hear you properly, Harshad. I know you were talking about something about being afraid or not afraid, but I'm afraid. This is the first time I'm feeling a bit of showers here in Colombo. First time, little bit of raindrops coming. The entire day has been quite dry. Contrary to what the weather app was showing us, the weather app shows here a lot of rain throughout the day, thunderstorms. There hasn't been any. In fact, today I felt like old proper Colombo after the amazing weather in Kandy, which is nice and cool. Colombo is muggy. It's a bit humid. So if Vikrant is heading me here in a few days, he must carry light cotton t-shirts, maybe even shorts. It's not the weather to be wearing, full sleeve clothes. It's typical, summer Colombo weather. I felt while it's very breezy here because the ocean is right behind me. I don't think you can really see it, but that's the ocean right there. The little bit of dots that you see are all the lights along the ocean. There's a walking path, much like the Marine Drive that you have. So it's muggy, but if you're here facing the ocean, then it feels good with a bit of a breeze. But I did feel a few raindrops just come in. So yeah, in terms of that India-Pakistan thing, I think what do I say? It is a result of social media battles. It is a result of over-enthusiastic fans, journalists / YouTubers. I saw some of it in the press box, and I sometimes feel that the players aren't as competitive sometimes as folks in the press box. So I'll tell you the conversation without taking any names. The conversation that happened in that India-Pakistan match was that when the three top order batsmen fell, and there was a talk with one Pakistani journalist telling the other, I told you इनसे 200 भी नहीं बनने थे आज. You guys were saying 200 भी नहीं बनने थे. The other said, नहीं 200 तो आप ज्यादा बोल रहे हो. मैं तो कह रहा हूँ 200 से भी कम बनेंगे आज. The other said, आप ऐसे कोहली है, we respect, you know. So this is a loud conversation that was happening in the press box, and I think all of them are also kind of responsible for extending or taking this hashtag become viral, which is India scared of Pakistan. So it all started with that. And a lot of it is also, you know, news being fed to those specific journalists. I know letters have started being leaking, PCB putting those letters out. So you've got to always understand whenever there is some bit of news that comes out, when letters are leaked, then clearly there is an agenda at play. And the agenda at play here is, and the root cause of that entire agenda at play is that the PCB, rightly or wrongly, has felt wrong that the Asian Cricket Council, headed by Shah, has been taking unilateral decisions. And they did it from the start, apart from the fact shifting it from Pakistan, which did not go down well with them, which is understandable. Again, they wanted to host it. It was not possible. It had to be moved to a neutral venue. Initially, if you remember, the talk was, and that's why I'm saying ex-chairman, right now chairman. So the ex-chairman has tweeted, which is why there is a lot of hangama also. But that ex-chairman, when he was chairman, he had actually threatened saying, we are not going to come to India for the World Cup. We are come what way, we're not coming. We're not coming for Asia Cup, we're not coming for the World Cup. What has happened of that? Pakistan is coming, right? World Cup is happening. That game is happening in Ahmedabad. All security, government permissions have happened. So that's why I say a lot of it is posturing. That's why you have to dig deep into the history of what has happened. Now a new chairman is there and those letters are being produced. Also, you got to see the confusion between PCB because the heads of PCB who are running it keep changing. So you don't know really who to communicate with and what the line of thinking is, because that also keeps changing, you know, as the tournament happens. So the root cause was that a tournament was shifted. And the second cause after that was they wanted it to be held in UAE, which also the SEC did not listen to. They were not happy that those decisions were taken without their consultation. Then even the third time that happened, when the venue first time was shifted to Hambantota, they were not even happy with that. Or when there was a discussion that happened between the local Sri Lankan board and everyone, where said that, you know, the matches will be held in Hambantota. Were not even happy with that, and now not happy that it has now come back to Colombo. The root cause is that PCB feels that it's our tournament. Pakistan Cricket Board is the host, which is also true, and they are not being consulted, and ACC keeps deciding. So I'm saying, had the tournament remained in Hambantota, even then PCB wouldn't have been happy at that time. It's just that it shifted now. So, you know, you have this kind of a narrative now that India is scared, whatever, of Pakistan. I mean, are you seriously, you want people to believe that the Indian team would be scared of facing Pakistan? I mean, it's a competition, right? Over the last few years, I think India has held the wood over Pakistan. Last 4 contests, I think it's 2-all. So I don't think any international player at that level ever feels scared. So that's what I'm saying. So you got to take it with not a pinch, but a bag full of salt whenever you look at the news coming in from different markets.
I mean, yes, social media is anyway, you know, a platform where you cannot take seriously anymore, because there are just so many trolls, so many, you know, spammers and all of that. You just can't take everything so seriously, and this is definitely just a fan war that's going on. And if anything else, is just hyping up the match, so there's going to be a much more exciting, you know, contest between India versus Pakistan, since so many of the fans will be tuning into.
But Rohit Sharma has said, do not hype it, and if you hype it, you do it at your own peril. Do not mention it. Do not talk about it to me. This is the last time you are asking me this question. Do not ask me this question going forward. The World Cup, especially, don't talk all this hype business you guys do. Don't involve the team in.
But can there be an India-Pakistan match, let's say, without the hype, Rahul bhai? Can there ever be, despite that plea, let's say, being made by...
No, obviously not. Obviously not. But, you know, whatever is happening, it's no longer restricted to just fans and social media, because now the administrators of both the boards, past and present, have jumped into it. And this is actually making it look very, very ugly. You know, people are defending one section of the board, and of course the Indians, well, they also think that it is their moral duty to defend the BCCI or the representatives of the BCCI, and same thing is happening in Pakistan also, where Najam Sethi has also pointed out a few things. Zaka Ashraf has also pointed out a few things here also, because I remember the BCCI secretary Jai Shah, he shot a stinker or an email. Basically, it was an explanation as a press statement, but that was in his capacity as the ACC chairman. Jai Shah. So he sent out that press statement, or was it an email to the PCB? I think it was a statement.
Email.
Was it?
Yeah.
I think it was a statement, press statement for the media. No?
No, but then we would have it, na?
Yeah. So we have it.
What?
The email or the press statement, then everyone would
Was it
take,
an
na?
email to the PCB or was it a press statement?
No, it was a statement.
It was
a
We got
statement.
it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I
that's
One
thought
that
it
came
was
out.
email.
No. It was a press statement. So thereafter, obviously, it started with Najam Sethi pointing out a few things at that time, because he was the one who had initially proposed the hybrid model, and he wanted and to an extent I also agree, it's a 50 over format. In UAE it may not have been, of course, you could have played a tournament in the UAE also, but then looking at the fixtures, the so important tournament ahead, that is the World Cup, it would have taken a toll on the players, and I agree to an extent, but also you'll have to agree the fact that they are professional cricketers. So that's one thing, but so that's what I'm saying, with administrators, senior administrators who are holding such top positions in both the boards, now they are making it look very, very, very ugly. I understand Rohit Sharma had said that please do not talk to me about all these things, मैं बार-बार की बातें नहीं सुनूंगा और दोबारा मुझसे बात सवाल का पूछ मत लेना, वर्ल्ड कप के दौरान भी मैं आज ही बता दूं, दोबारा ना जवाब दूंगा ना ये करूंगा. But it's okay, what fans are talking about, maybe what journalists are talking about amongst themselves, but then these are the administrators, because see, at the end of the day the players come under the boards, whether it's the Pakistani players or the Indian players. So tomorrow I just hope that these players do not become a tool in the hands of these administrators. So let's keep it that way, and I think come 10th of September, hopefully things should get better, because the scenes that we had seen just before the last game between India and Pakistan, everybody enjoyed it. Of course, not I can't say everybody, because there were a lot of people who actually trolled Virat Kohli for showing that kind of a gesture for the Pakistani players, Haris Rauf in particular. So that's one thing. I just hope, because players, I doubt if they have that kind of animosity amongst themselves. So let's keep it that way. Who's afraid, who's not? I don't think, Mahendra Singh Dhoni once did say that it's okay, we have been winning against Pakistan in ICC tournaments, but that's not that is not going to stay forever. We will lose someday, and it happened thereafter. So one day India will win, one day Pakistan will win. It will not mean that it's the end of the journey for somebody. Or so I think let's keep it on the field. Initially, you would also remember, there is one valid point that I will always agree. That was when the ACC had had given hosting rights to Pakistan. There and then these things should have been considered, that India will not travel, because that happened long ago, and the political tensions between the two countries and their relations is well known. We knew that India will not travel to Pakistan whatever happens. So I think these things, they started on a wrong foot, and unfortunately it has continued since then.
Two wrongs don't make a right. They never will. I think, like what Rahul said, Pakistan are wrong to the extent of assuming that the Asia Cup should have been played in Pakistan. No way it should have been played in Pakistan. Going by the lack of diplomatic relations between the two countries.
Then they
and
shouldn't have
Pakistan
been-
also knew.
They shouldn't have been awarded the hosting rights.
No, but
No,
the
at
hosting
some
rights
point-
have to go to them.
At some point,
Like
they would have
India
got
had the
it.
hosting rights in
Yeah.
18, so India played it at a neutral venue. Pakistan, I felt one small little battle when they actually got this hybrid model in the Asia Cup. Now, why are they time and again saying that, oh, we wanted Dubai, we never wanted Sri Lanka? See, it is a hybrid model. They've got a few games in Pakistan which
Yeah.
augurs well for them.
Yeah.
So, as far as Sri Lanka is concerned, it is the weather. Now, the point is, two people need to talk and not talk through social media or not talk through former PCB
But they
chairman.
had multiple meetings in the UAE. I remember, in South Africa as well. I think there was a meeting
Durban.
just last month as well.
That
So,
was
that is the
ICC.
problem.
Exactly what I'm saying. So these.
No, see, like what Nikhil said. So, once they took it to Sri Lanka,
Yeah.
now if they wanted Dambula and the Indians didn't want it in Dambula, then PCB should have, preempted the situation
Yeah.
and they could have, I don't know, if Zaka Ashraf and Jay Shah are on talking terms, if they've been meeting, if the BCCI could send a couple of officials to Pakistan to watch the two games, which means that you're at least talking. Now, I don't know about Dambula. People said the lights are a problem. Then they took it to
They haven't had a match there for quite some time. Which was
Whatever.
the facility isn't ready. This
Now, once the tournament started, everything was hunky dory.
Yeah.
The only problem was when it started raining in Palakkal, and then they saw the weather forecast in Colombo.
Colombo.
Now, I would want to ask Nikhil once again, if Nikhil is still with us. The
Yeah.
Pakistan Cricket Board unofficially is saying that Jay Shah, on being the ACC chairman, took a unilateral decision to shift the games to Hambantota. So, was the Pakistan Cricket Board not happy with Hambantota? Were the Pakistani players not happy with Hambantota? Is that a fact, Nikhil?
No,
Or did the Indian
initially-
players not want to go to Hambantota?
No, so the Hambantota thing, Pakistan wasn't happy with the fact that ACC first decided not to have the second leg, the hybrid model in UAE. They wanted that in UAE, but they did not listen to it. They went
No, but
to
that's
Sri
the
Lanka.
old story.
When first this,
No, that's
yes,
the old story.
Then the first time, yes, the first time it was decided to move it to Hambantota, when there was a talk between Palakele, Kandy, Hambantota, Tambula, when this talk was happening, the PCB at that time also initially were not consulted. It was only kept with ACC and the local Sri Lankan Cricket Board. At which point later, when the decision was taken, then they were informed that you're moving to Hambantota. Now, Pakistan, what I heard was that PCB was not even happy with this fact, that first that decision was taken to take it to Hambantota. But then, when they got to know that it is at Hambantota, they, being the organizers, say or claim that they started making preparations to move the things to Hambantota. I know that Hambantota had been decided, the mails had been sent to all boards, because the reservation was being made to few people that I spoke to, whether they were at the broadcaster level, whether they were at the sponsor level, which is why I did that story first. Once I got to know 100% that people who are involved in the organization from the local area and all of that are already starting to book their accommodation in Hambantota. So I knew that it is moving to Hambantota. So then, on that first thing, PCB wasn't even happy. If you remember, PCB actually came out and said, why even do it there? Bring it back to Pakistan. We told you in advance, it's going to happen like this. It is going to rain. Now you're running helter-skelter, finding different venue, bring it to Pakistan, knowing fully well that it would not happen. It would just give them a bargaining chip. When they moved to Hambantota also, they were not happy. Now there is a claim from PCB's side that no, we were fine with Hambantota. We would have moved to Hambantota. We would have played in Hambantota. But now the problem lies that why did you decide from Hambantota to Colombo? Why did you decide? And just as you had decided for Hambantota earlier in consultation with
So why
board and
is
ACC,
it? Why is it that
you weren't
once?
consulted?
No. But Nikhil, then why is it that once ACC and the Sri Lankan board took it to Hambantota, Pakistan Cricket Board initially weren't happy, but then they said, okay, fine. Why then Hambantota again was changed to Colombo?
That is because of three reasons. One, which I've reported also, the Indian team also did not want to go to Hambantota,
Okay.
which is something that we've been critical about, because the Indian team thought that the facilities in Hambantota aren't great. It's in the middle of a jungle. The staying facilities aren't good. The training facilities aren't good.
But
Various other things that they
Indians
need
generally
aren't
do not
available.
train much before the games. They generally go game to game, no?
Yeah, good point. But this time they had a lot of time to train. There was a big gap. And I think that is something that should be, put under scrutiny. Why is it that the ACC, which is headed by the secretary of the BCCI, also in the sense gave in to the demands made by the Indian team, where they did not want to go to Hambantota? That is also worth investigating. Why should? Because there was talk that there's no recreation there, no good staying facilities. All of that
But
will
they've
not
got
be
excellent 5-star
available
resorts,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
They've got excellent 5-star resorts.
Yeah, I know. I thought, but maybe they don't, not to the standard that the Indian team wants.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So matches be damned. Matches be damned. If it is going to rain in Colombo, so be it. Doesn't matter. But facilities need to be good. And facilities in Hambantota were not good. So, which is why it is decided. The Indian team also decided we do not want to go to Hambantota.
Another thing,
there is issue
because
with-
they've got the hosting rights, which means that technically Pakistan Cricket Board officials should also be running the show. Right now, yes, there's a game going on in Lahore. The Pakistan Cricket Board officials would be in Lahore. But Nikhil, I didn't see any in the first match between India and Pakistan in Sri Lanka. The Pakistan Cricket Board officials.
Exactly. And that's a very good point. Neither did I, by the way. I did meet a lot of people who are organizing the media, the ground, looking after the sponsors, broadcasters. I did see all of them. Even I did not see too many people from Pakistan who are part of the organization, unless I missed them. I mean, it's not humanly possible for me to find out everywhere, but I was around the team hotel, the stadium, and you get to see, and whichever tournament we cover, we are in touch with people who are organizing things. I did not get in touch with anyone from Pakistan. There may have been a stray one or two people that may have missed me, but I'm saying when you're the organizing board or the host country, then you are going to see plenty of people, and they'll be dominant in everything that is going to be organized. I'll tell you, the people that are dominant in organizing everything that is happening here are people from the Sri Lankan Cricket Board, and I came across and met a lot of them. Now, that is also very interesting, which is why I say you should take everything that is coming from Pakistan with a pinch of salt, where they claim that as soon as they were informed of Hambantota, they said, you know what, we will send our team to, as the hosting board, we will send our team to Hambantota, we'll ensure that there are good stays, and the airport, the transport is fine from airport to here, all the training facilities are great, we're going to do it. But that is what actually surprised me, and that is what got me thinking on those lines, when I'm saying all of this narrative can be manipulated, because if that was the case, I saw nobody in Palakale. I saw nobody that was organizing from the PCB that was in Palakale. So where did this now assertion come from Pakistan, that we were all in readiness in preparing everything in Hambantota, we were going to send people there, our organizing staff. I don't know where that organizing staff, unless they were to fly now after the game, I don't know. But I didn't see any.
So Nikhil, Pakistan PCB was not consulted before they decided that the tournament is going to stay in Colombo. Is that right?
Yes. At least that is what Pakistan board is claiming.
And they had agreed on Hambantota, Pakistan.
Yes, they say now, but I think they had raised a protest. I reliably learned that they had raised a protest even then, when it was
that's
given
fine.
to Hambantota. They may have later, because they were not happy with the fact that that's why I said they were not happy with the fact that these decisions were taken and they were being informed. They were informed later. I mean, they knew that there is thought and discussions are happening on the lines of moving the tournament there, because there were phone calls between the Sri Lankan board, the ACC and the Sri Lankan weather department. All of those conversations were happening, but Pakistan was kept on the periphery, on the outside. And then they were told that, okay, Hambantota is, less of this thing. So they were not even happy that it was decided. As I said, their first proposal was, now see, we told you keep it in Pakistan, you messed it up, bring it to Pakistan. That was their first, proposal. That was looked beyond by the ACC and the Sri Lankan Cricket Board, and what PCB feels that they've gotten together and kept deciding about things with keeping them on the outside. So now I know that initially also they were not happy. First, with not even considering bringing the tournament back to Pakistan, they claimed that they could do it. That was out of the question, but probably they had hopes, so not happy. And then last moment, so what they felt was, if you can go last moment to Hambantota, why can't you bring it to Pakistan without knowing the modalities from the Indian side? That's first. And then they were told later in an email, it wasn't so that they were consulted, they were told that it is moved to Hambantota. They were not very happy about it. But as soon as I'm sure you would have heard these kind of statements from their side that they're not happy in Hambantota, had that U-turn not happened very fast, assuming that, the decision to play in Hambantota would have carried on for the next few days, you would have heard similar noises from PCB, from Pakistan, saying, this was decided without consulting us, you're taking it to Hambantota. This would have happened. It's just that change happened in a matter of 12 hours, where it was confirmed Hambantota is the venue, all reservations were being done, and then it is ACC that decided. Also, as I said, based on the feedback of Indian players, there was another factor that was involved, and which is a very important piece of the puzzle. We are forgetting that. Even the Sri Lankan board, per se, was not too keen to move the tournament out of Colombo, because for them also, an organizational point of view, to have done it in Hambantota at such a short notice, they were finding it tough to do it in such a short notice, to prepare the ground and get other things ready. Logistically, with the number of hotels and the ground available, the staff available, the technology available with them, also with people coming in. I mean, ACC claims that they even looked at fans. A lot of fans were going to come into Colombo. As soon as you move it to Hambantota, all people that were going to come into Super Force would have pulled out. So that's also another factor that was considered. Also considered was the ease for the local board. At the end of the day, I repeat, Pakistan says they are the host board, that they would have organized. They wouldn't have had to do much. I did not see them doing much. It's the Sri Lankan board that is doing majority of the work.
Yeah.
So even the Sri Lankan board, last moment when the decision was taken for Hambantota, even they were a bit reluctant to take it to Hambantota. Then keeping what the Indian team had asked, so the Sri Lankan board was also saying, and that the fans, there was a real threat that the fans may not turn up at all, and Asia Cup would have been played in front of empty grounds in Hambantota. Then that decision was taken last moment to move it to Colombo. So as I said, it would have been a win-win for Pakistan anyway. And it's played in Hambantota, it would have given them reason to complain that, fans cannot reach there. The organization has been done there last moment, we were not consulted. It just showed that 12 hours later it changed to Colombo. So that narrative has now come to Colombo. Otherwise, you would have gone with Hambantota too.
Yeah. But Vikrant, I just want to check with you, since we're talking about, this becoming more of a muddled cup, and then the Asia Cup, people are calling it the chaotic cup and whatnot. There are all sorts of names now.
It's getting the eyeballs at least.
It is getting attention, it is getting the eyeballs.
It's okay. For a change, the Pakistanis are now saying that they are at par, if not better than the Indians.
Yeah.
But the fact is, the last game between the two teams that was played on the second, who won that game?
The viewer, maybe.
No, they
between-
lost it.
Who?
No one won it. It was
No one won, no? And when was the last result between the two teams?
last year's T20 World Cup.
Who won?
India
Who won?
India won.
So why are they saying that the Indians are afraid of the Pakistanis? I mean, they need to decide. I think Pakistan needs to decide. Their official needs to decide. They need to decide. The players need to decide, and the YouTubers and the media also need to decide whether or not. If they are not happy with the arrangement, they should have pulled out of the Asia Cup. It requires guts to take the other party to the brink and then let that party blink. They should have taken the BCCI to the brink, and then if they had the guts or the firepower to take on the BCCI, they should have said, we're not playing the Asia Cup.
Which, to be fair, has happened in the past. India, Pakistan.
If they had said that we're not playing the World Cup, they should have stuck to that
Exactly.
till the last minute.
They said it very much.
If they know the value of an India-Pakistan game and the value of the Pakistani players in a World Cup and for the broadcaster, then they should have stuck to their guns. Now that I felt that day when the hybrid model was approved, I felt that day that the PCB will actually be better off with this hybrid model. At least there's been a start. So I thought maybe Najam Sethi was very good with his persuasion and his and the way he negotiated. But now that the Asia Cup is happening, see what if on the 10th in Colombo you have a 50 overs a side game? What if you have a 50
There
overs
are
a side
chances
game?
of that now. There are chances.
So now you see again, either you have the authority to challenge the powers that be. You've got the hosting rights, and if Nikhil didn't see any Pakistan Cricket Board official there, then that's their problem.
Yeah.
And if they are also मतलब अपनी शादी में बेगाना, then that is also their problem. That is also their problem. And I think these YouTubers and these people who for the last 3-4 years had been sitting on the feet of Indian players and then saying they are the best in the world and this and that for views. Now, if they are wanting to be embedded journalists for Pakistan Cricket Board, let that also be. There's no harm in that.
Yeah.
But they can't have split faces. Now, I also tweeted just a while back that hope there's no conspiracy, the Indian conspiracy in the lights going off. I also know for a fact that the floodlights went off in Mohali at the PCA Stadium, and I'm a member of the Punjab Cricket Association Apex Council, which means that it was embarrassing for me as well. It has happened in Kolkata, it has happened everywhere.
Yeah.
The point is, this had to be told.
Yeah.
See, because you're fighting a battle, no? Everybody is.
Yeah.
So, it was a brownie point that I wanted to score.
Yeah.
That's it.
But one quick question for you. In all these years that we've seen the Asia Cup, can you recall an Asia Cup which happened in this sort of an environment where there was such confusion while the tournament was
It's just because the Pakistani team now is much better than what they were for years.
So they're making a human
They are, if not better, they are now at par with India.
Yeah.
The kind of fast bowling that they have. They are challenging India. They win one day, we win the other, which means that it's a battle of equals now. It never was.
True.
So I think you will only have a voice once your team starts winning. And I compliment Pakistan for having played the World T20 final last year. It's just that these issues at times they may be sensitive for them, but for the players, India for a number of years was under pressure. Pakistan se harna nahi hai, Pakistan se harna nahi hai. And the last 4-5 days, the noises from the other side of the border have been so shrill, saying India is afraid. What if that fear of failure now seeps into the Pakistan cricket dressing room, Pakistan team's dressing room? So it's not a given that every day Rohit Sharma will fail or Shubman Gill will fail or Virat Kohli will fail. Yes, they've got Shaheen Shah Afridi. Yes, they have Haris Rauf. Yes, they have Naseem Shah. But none of them right now is Wesley Hall or Charlie Griffith. None of them is even a Waqar Younis or a Wasim Akram. So there'll be days when they'll do well. There'll be days when they'll be taken off. They'll be taken to the cleaners by the Indians.
Yeah.
So again, I don't know, but for the media, for us, yes, there is a context. There's a context. I was worried once the schedule was drawn that India will play them on the 2nd and another game on the 4th.
Yeah.
I thought, yaar, ye agle 6 din hum kya karenge? So they're keeping us alive. Today is 6th. Right? Today is 6th.
Yeah.
So tomorrow again there'll be some controversy or the other.
But for the last 2 days we were just running around trying to figure out whether Hamman Tota's happening or what's with Colombo, Balakele. So yeah, this Asia Cup is beyond just cricket at the moment. It's about logistical and administrative issues as well.
Nightmare.
See, Pakistan, given the conditions that they are in, their cricketing conditions, their economic conditions, the political conditions,
as well.
Their team has actually done very well.
Yes.
In spite of the fact that ever since 2009, for a good 7-8 years, teams were not traveling to Pakistan to play. Yet, to have a youngish team like this, who will challenge the world, they are one of the contenders in the World Cup.
Yes.
I think it's a compliment for them. They need to enjoy their cricket.
I think we've got a few comments that we can take. Let's probably start.
I'll have to take your leave. I have to.
Oh yes.
है ना?
Oh yes. This is one of Shane's favorite family members.
Prithvi Patnaik, aka Bhavan, says that Najam Sethi thinks that by hosting the Asia Cup, they'll bring honor to their country, but like a wise man had once said, no one can give you your honor, it's something you earn yourself. Shows their mindset and it's shameful. I think Najam is himself just trying to score some brownie points, too.
Perhaps, yeah. Vishal Panchal says from the United States, he says that why co-hosts in Sri Lanka at this point of time, why co-host in Sri Lanka at this point of the year, he's saying. I know limited options, but Bangladesh could have also been an option, scheduling nightmares, including the World Cup.
To be fair, you were actually really slim pickings.
Yeah.
But I think it was also about interest, which board had shown greater interest. I remember when this whole controversy sort of broke, and when you were sort of looking at other alternatives, once India had made it clear they're not traveling, Sri Lankan board did step up and grab the opportunity.
Yeah.
They were the first ones to throw their hat in the ring. Yes, there was that thought that you could host it in the UAE as well, but you weren't looking at Afghanistan, you weren't looking at Bangladesh, and it was for the board members to have shown that interest. So perhaps that's the reason Vishal, that those co-hosting rights were then given to Sri Lanka and not to any other member nation.
I mean, if I'm not wrong, the idea of hybrid model became concrete once Sri Lanka had offered to co-host the Asia Cup, because I don't think before that anyone was up for co-host.
You started to look at, you were flirting with that idea once it was clear, and Najam Sethi had floated the idea, okay, we'll have a hybrid model. That's when you started to look for someone else, some other country to take the World Cup, take the Asia Cup.
Any country would have taken the hosting rights or co-hosting rights for the Asia Cup, because for them it was a win-win situation, to be very honest. You're not even so Sri Lanka, you would remember last time Sri Lanka were the hosts, but couldn't happen in Sri Lanka, so it had to be moved out of Sri Lanka because of the economic situation, and of course there were riots and a lot of other things were happening in Sri Lanka, so it was not feasible to host the tournament there last year, so it had to be moved out of Sri Lanka and happened in UAE. So that's, I think, it's, I was just trying to figure out why are we even having this discussion actually, that India is afraid trends in Pakistan. So, but who is trending this India is afraid, quote unquote?
Of course, Pakistani fans.
Pakistani fans, that's fine. I'm saying the administrators, I think it has...
a hand.
Exactly, they are just helping the cause, to be very honest. They're just adding fuel to the fire, and maybe we also here, sitting here discussing about this, maybe adding fuel to the fire, because and we need to understand that Hamman Tota, all these things. I think ACC, to be very honest, was as good as a defunct body. Ever since Jai Shah became the ACC chairman, it got something to look forward to, ACC. And ACC, if you have to do well in ICC, BCCI of course is doing well in the ICC. It takes the major share of the pie as in terms of revenue. BCCI. Now Pakistan is also growing as a board amongst the next year. That is the other 4 nations also include Pakistan, the PCB. So by this blame game, who's not traveling to Dambula, who's not traveling to Pallekele, who's not traveling to Hamman Tota. See, I'm sure that's where if the board has to understand that if you tell players that you have to go there, at least they have a ground. They have a ground there to play, good enough, where cricket matches can be played. So as simple as that. I'm sure a lot of people see logistical issues. Definitely, I think they also have to be taken care of. Broadcasters also need to be consulted. Fans, you have to see that you have fans traveling from other countries. You have administrators also, by the way. For them also it has to be convenient, no? You can't land in Colombo and then travel to Amman Tota by road or every day. So there is more than what meets the eye. And Colombo, and you should have known it beforehand that in Colombo in September you usually don't have matches.
Exactly.
And if you have, if you took that risk, now face it. You should not have taken that risk of playing matches in Colombo.
Yeah.
Now what has changed? Just because the broadcaster is losing so much money, and the broadcaster is absolutely right. If broadcaster has proposed or said that we want to have matches because we are the ones who are losing majority, it's for us to lose that revenue, they are absolutely right. But then everybody should have seen that is it feasible, possible to play in Colombo this time of the year?
Yeah.
So, that first step, you took a wrong step right at the start, whether in scheduling. And when did we get the schedule for the Asia Cup? I think just a month and a half.
Month back?
Yeah.
A month back?
Month and a half
So it
back?
was very, very
Yeah.
sudden, abrupt, put it however you
Exactly. So, you need to see the priorities also. So, I don't know who's lying, but maybe both are correct. It's just that the manner in which things are coming out, it's getting very ugly. These are all representatives of not just the boards, but the most popular sport in the country, be it cricket in Pakistan or cricket in India.
True.
So the administrators also, there's nothing, you are not going to achieve anything. The Indian fans here, Indian people here will believe that BCCI is right and was right. PCB and their people, they will continue to believe that they are right. As of now, a tournament is happening. Pakistan, India, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, they are all playing. Let's wait. I think things will only get, maybe this is only going to get add spice to that contest on 10th.
Yeah.
Okay, we have some super chats. Alicia Ibrahim is saying Pakistan team is good, but their fans and boards are treating this Asia Cup as war and abusing Jesha. I see their celebrities doing the same. I don't see Indian celebrity doing it. They should focus on their cricket and hope to win the Asia Cup and the World Cup.
The focus should be clear.
Yeah. Saurav Mukherjee here is saying Pakistan being number 1 in ICC rankings is
Equivalent to
passing
exams during COVID.
Playing India is equivalent to going for interviews in MNC after that.
Interesting analogy.
And Singularity says that the elephant in the room is the real reason India cannot go to Pakistan. And don't want to say politics and sports is separate, life is paramount. Yeah.
Nothing more to add.
Yeah.
In the words of Mahendra Singh Dhoni.
Absolutely.
Fully agree. Maybe we can have a look at some of the regular comments as well, since we're done with supers. Let's just see what the others are saying.
Sachin, we can't be criticizing Pakistan's fielding, really. Not anymore.
They're second best when it comes to catching at the moment.
Naseem Shah almost broke his injured his hand while he went all
Going
for
for a
it.
dive.
Yeah.
Yeah, took all the catches today as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we're good, actually.
Yep.
So guys, yeah, there was that. We tried taking as many of your comments as we possibly could have. 10th of September, you got to wait for a couple of days to see which team gets the better of the other, but lots building up in the process. Every day there is something to look forward to. As far as the update on the match is concerned, it will take place in Colombo as was earlier scheduled. No questions with regards to any more venue changes. That is something we can tell you as things stand, but seeing what has happened over the last couple of days, never know where this Asia Cup is headed. But it's interesting, it's keeping us busy. As Vikrant sir had earlier said, it's keeping us busy.
Yeah.
There's so much to talk about. And yes, the talk at the moment across the border seems to have taken a turn of sorts, and they've already jumped the gun in many ways. But again, let's see how these questions get answered on the cricketing field by the men in blue and even the men in green as well. So we'll see how that battle turns out to be. From everyone here in the studio, thank you so much. Bye bye, and we'll catch you soon.